like to call the Saline City Council meeting to order. If you'd please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all, and for those who may be listening to this recording after the fact, we are having some technical issues this evening and are having some difficulty live streaming. So unless there is a significant change in technology this evening, we will postpone our November ballot proposal to a later date. We do have a date certain for a community town hall at the Senior Center in early October. We'll probably mention that during the reports and other announcements and be sending a press release in the ensuing weeks. Members present this evening are Council Members Gearboss, CO, Rice, Lesh, Harmount, Mayor Pro Tem Dillon, and Mayor Morrow. From City Staff, we have the City Manager, Deputy Clerk Alexa is filling in for Clerk Royal, and we have the Assistant City Manager, Treasurer L. Cole. Is there a motion now to approve the agenda as submitted unless there are amendments?
Moved as submitted.
Moved by CO. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lesh. All those in favor of approving the agenda as submitted signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. The motion carries unanimously. There are no absences this evening, so we'll proceed to public comments on agenda items. Under the Open Meetings Act, any person may come forward at this time, make comment or question on an item that appears on this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Anyone who would like to speak is requested, but of course not required, to state his or her name and address for the record. Are there any citizen comments? I would defer to the Deputy Clerk. Deputy Clerk Alexa, did we receive any written comments in advance of tonight's meeting in which the individual wanted their remarks read at this time? Very good. Then we will proceed to the consent agenda. The following consent agenda will normally be adopted without discussion. However, at the request of any citizen or council member, any item may be removed from the consent agenda for discussion.
I'd move as submitted.
Moved by CO to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Dillon. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. The motion carries unanimously. We'll transition to the discussion portion of tonight's agenda since we have no new business, and I will start to my left this evening and end to my right. So I'll begin with Councilmember Harmount. Do you have any reports, commission committee updates, or other announcements?
I do not.
Councilmember Rice.
Tomorrow, the Parks Commission meets at 7 p.m. here in City Hall. We've had lots of interest in people wanting to join us, so please feel free to join us. There is also a group outside of the entity of the city and outside of my role as a council member, but as a community member, who will be organizing a community vigil at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So stay tuned for my personal social media and the social media of others throughout the community. We will be meeting at Henny Field, and it will be led by one of our community members to have some discussions around race and hatred within the community.
Thank you for sharing that. Councilmember Gearboss, reports, announcements, or updates from any boards, committees, or commissions?
Sure. Just a couple. Planning Commission, as you know, we have been reviewing the development on corner of North Ann Arbor Street and Saline Waterworks. A preliminary PUD has been approved by the Planning Commission, and that'll be coming to council the first meeting of October, I believe. And HDC, we approved a request for a fence that was being installed on South Ann Arbor Street. And also I want to let council know that as a result of Sarah Gallagher being appointed, that made 8 members on the board. And since I was on the board as basically a substitute for a citizen appointment with her being my replacement, so I will no longer be on HDC. The board will need to pick a new chair for that group. And I thank the group members and enjoyed working with them for this last 9 months.
Thank you, and yes, thank you for your participation and willingness to serve in that capacity for almost a year. We appreciate that very much. Mayor Pro Tem Dillon, reports or other announcements?
Not at this time.
Mr. CO.
Yes, this morning, Your Honor, we had a monthly meeting for the Saline Area Senior Center. It was reported that as of today, we have, I think, 958 members. They're pushing to try and set a record of having 1,000 members, so if anybody in the community would like to join the Saline Area Senior Center, it's over behind the middle school, the old high school, and I would welcome you to come. We also are open for people younger than what you might consider normally a senior citizen age. At age 55 is a senior in training. You're also eligible to join. There are a lot of activities there, a lot of things going on, and next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, at 1 p.m., there will be a planning meeting with the Saline area schools for the talk with the architects about the future of the new space plan for the senior center back there. So if anybody's interested in attending that, you're also welcome to do that. That's next Tuesday at 1 PM in Room 1 in the Saline Area Senior Center. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Very good. Councilmember Lesh.
Arts and Culture will be meeting this Thursday at 4:30 in the main conference room at City Hall.
Very good. And just as a follow-up to a statement I made a moment ago, so we will be hosting a Charter Amendment Town Hall at the Senior Center on October the 11th. That's a Friday at 10:30. We'll probably wrap up within about an hour, hour and a half. There will be light refreshments. We will send out a press release in the next week or so. And I believe the Senior Center also intends to invite all council candidates and all school board candidates to also be in attendance at that event. City Manager O'Toole, we sent out a press release last week regarding the presentation that unfortunately couldn't occur tonight. Because this is transpiring on October 11th, excuse me, it's not imminent that we get another press release out, but maybe by the early part of next week. Since we quoted Councilmember Gearbaugh in the last press release, may I ask, Mayor Pro Tem, would you provide a two-sentence statement for a press release pertaining to our town hall on the 11th?
Yes.
Very good. And if you could get that to staff no later than the end of business on Friday, that would be terrific. Appreciate that. Go ahead.
So, just following up on this, because we're not doing a presentation tonight, and we're talking about this ballot initiative at the Senior Center on October 11th, that's almost a 2-week gap for when ballots are coming out. Are we going to do something in the interim to make sure, are we going to be able to put out some information and understand so that we kind of get the word out there?
Yes, simply because we won't have people actively viewing this meeting, I'll record the presentation, the exact same presentation I was going to give tonight, as a separate video, and we can push that out via our social media.
Perfect, thank you.
I think it would also be beneficial, and it could be much more abbreviated, but we do have another council meeting on October 7th, maybe have a brief discussion or presentation at the start of that meeting as well.
Can we have that pushed out with Thursday shortcuts or short announcement that Sarah usually does for us?
Oh, the Saline Shorts, yeah.
Actually, let
Sure,
Chuck
yes.
know, because Chuck's doing the
Oh,
video this
Chuck,
week.
okay, good.
Yeah, add that to your list of items to talk about in 60 seconds or less.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good. If there are no additional reports or announcements, City Manager O'Toole, did you want to start with encouraging civility?
Yes, I just added this to the agenda because I've received a number of comments specifically from our front desk staff over the last few weeks, just about the lack of civility or the the nature with which people are speaking to them at the front counter. So I was hoping to encourage you all in your own discourse with individuals to let everyone know, we are here to serve the public. It doesn't benefit you, it doesn't benefit your cause to come in upset, frustrated, or angry, not ready to have a conversation with our team and move the dialogue forward. There are certainly cases where obviously we have existing policies that we have to follow. We can't make everything happen the way that certain people would like them to happen. But just some of the discourse recently has been concerning to us, and I'd like to encourage everyone to give grace.
Very good. I've also had the opportunity to speak to some of the employees who man the front counters here at City Hall. And let me state, and I'll be very emphatic, that the vast majority of citizens, property owners, and business owners who come into City Hall to conduct business are polite and professional. But there have been occasions, specifically of late, with tax bills being due just a few weeks back, where there were several individuals who were very curt and disrespectful to staff. And I have to tell you in complete candor, I have zero tolerance for that kind of behavior. You don't have to be pleased with paying your summer property tax bill. None of us are, but it is absolutely incumbent to be professional and courteous to our staff here. They work hard on a daily basis to provide world-class services to Saline community members. And if you have concerns about your tax bill, if you think taxes are excessive, if you think spending is out of line, there are ways to channel that frustration by articulating those concerns to policymakers, i.e. attending council members, i.e. attending council meetings or communicating directly with your elected officials. Staff is simply carrying out the policy prescriptions
that are set by this body. So again, if you have questions, concerns about any policy matter, I strongly encourage you to connect with City Council or attend these meetings.
Let's transition to the My Water Advisor app, and we'll try to wrap this up. And due to the technology issues, City Manager O'Toole, it might be advantageous for us to message again on encouraging civility at our next
Yeah.
council meeting. Assistant City Manager Cole, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So recently, at our past meeting, the topic of My Water app came up. The My Water app is a system that allows you to see your usage in real time. You can also set it up to give you alerts for leaks. And the way that it detects the leaks is it watches your usage, and then when you have the usage that's abnormal for you, it kind of learns how you use water, and then it will alert you if you're using a lot more than you normally would. Right now, we currently have 11% of the city who signed up for the My Water app, and it is certainly our goal this year to keep growing that number and hopefully doubling, if not tripling it this year. It's such a valuable, useful tool. As a reminder, citizens are responsible for the water that goes through their meter, and that is a legal requirement. So them having first notice of when they're getting a leak is very, very important. For that reason, we did look into automatically enrolling every resident on the My Water app, and that is something that's not possible at this time because you have to register them with their email, and they have to create a password, and it's something that's considered to be secure in their own name. So they're looking into some other alternatives that they could potentially propose to us, but at this time, it doesn't look like that's going to be an option. And I also wanted to talk just a little bit about kind of our fairness in water and, understanding that the reason that folks are legally required to pay for all the water that passes through their meter is because legally they had decided that these enterprise systems would never be able to make it if credits were continuously given to different people. And in effect, that really wasn't fair because if it's not like a service that we're using, this is actually, chemicals, this is water, this is time that people are taking to clean the water. So when that water passes through the system, those resources are used. Therefore, if we get a credit, that means that someone else is going to be paying for that usage because it's already been through the system. So that's where kind of this 1933 Revenue Bond Act of water fairness came into play, where we're legally required to charge what goes through the meter. Currently, the policy states that we're able to, if we can show unequivocally that the water did not go through the sewer system, we're able to, per our own policy, remove those charges. And that's deemed to be fair under that act because it didn't pass through the system. It means if there's a leak outside and it goes onto the lawn, would be a good example of that. So I wanted to give you an update on all of those items and let you know we're still working very hard on messaging on the My Water app. We are right now re-messaging an FYI. We have relinked it on the website, and we're looking to other various options to really push and disseminate this. We also had one of our business owners at Bees be featured as he spoke about the benefits of the leak that saved him almost $15,000 from using the My Water app. So we're just going to keep continuing to do things like that. So hopefully people can understand how important it is. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not until it's too late. But we certainly have message on every single utility bill, how to sign up, every FYI. And we're going to keep continuing to do that messaging so that folks will learn the importance and how to sign up. And we're here to help them sign up if they have any questions or any problems with that.
Very good, thank you. We'll start again to my left in the event that there are any questions or comments for the Assistant City Manager, City Treasurer. Councilmember Harmount, any comments, questions for the City Treasurer?
I don't. My question was about the auto enrollment, and you answered that. Thank you.
Councilmember Rice?
One thing to note, if you could, in these communications, I signed myself up last week finally, and your My Water Advisor account number is very different from your actual City of Saline water account number, so I had to pull out my bill and figure out what it was, but, that was just user error, but I could see where people would get tripped up very easily on that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gearbaugh?
The only question I had is, are you able to put multiple accounts if they're under a different name under, I have my commercial accounts and I have my residential ones. Now, can I put my commercial and residential underneath the same account?
You cannot put them underneath the same account because they need that unique account identifier. However, I believe there's a way that we can consolidate that, so it would just be combining the account numbers. So I think there's a way for us to accomplish that.
And I just want to say that if you are struggling getting it to register, contact our city staff. Miley Weberline has helped immensely with a number of people, and so appreciate all the help that your staff have provided.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Dillon.
Thank you. The only thing that I would ask, it's something that we talked about, I had mentioned during strategic planning, is that the city maybe consider being a little bit more proactive in that we go out to the community. We have a table at farmer's market or at upcoming events, we're looking at the senior center thing, where we bring some basically laptop kiosks where we can walk people through signing up on the spot for this and for our texting sources and things like that, because some people that may not be tech savvy, there are a few steps to go through, and just sort of helping them. It might just be an easier way of doing it if we could bring it to people and have sessions, whether it's just, at public events or just, just have open houses here where come in and we'll set up some computers and help you get through the processes of signing up for all of our, ClearGov, this one, our texting sources, things like that, to keep people more in the loop of what's going on.
I think that's an excellent idea, and since we do have that event coming up on September, I keep saying September, October the 11th, I think if we could have information about the My Water app, the 411 text message initiative, ClearGov, and then also, I believe Sarah has the saved copy, City Manager O'Toole, but we have that very handy contact sheet with your information, generic email and phone for council and all of our department heads with a brief narrative of what they're responsible for. Of course, in light of L's new position and the fact that Chris Adkins will be coming on board shortly to replace Ben Harrington, that form will need to be updated, but it's a great thing to disseminate to folks. Councilmember Seal, any questions or comments?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Councilmember Lesh?
No, sir.
Easy enough. Then we come now to the second public comment period. Under the Open Meetings Act, any person may come forward at this time, may comment or question the city council. This public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Anyone who'd like to speak is requested, but of course not required to state his or her name and address for the record. Are there any citizen comments? Again, I would defer to the deputy clerk. Were there any comments provided in advance of tonight's meeting which the individual wanted their remarks read at this time? No? Mr. Seal, you had a comment.
Well, just may we include in discussion items at the next council meeting the use of disposable containers for food sales at various city functions?
Sure. If you'd like that added as a discussion item, we will make note of that, and it will be added on October the 7th.
Very good, thank you.
Yep, go ahead.
Just one quick other request. After looking at the recent, the monthly police report, I'd like to have council consider having a work session to discuss traffic enforcement and overall performance from the police department.
Okay. You want to first add that as a discussion item at the next meeting?
Either that or have an actual work session on it.
Okay. Well, let's, maybe the city manager and I can connect with the police chief tomorrow and at a minimum add it as a discussion item on October the 7th, or identify some dates in which the chief and or the deputy chief might be available for a conversation with council. And then, of course, to end on a positive note, Oktoberfest is this Friday and Saturday. We strongly encourage public participation. It's a great event that benefits innumerable businesses and organizations, and it's just a great time, one of our signature community events. So we hope to see you down there Friday evening, and then, of course, all day and evening on Saturday. If there's nothing further to be brought forward before City Council this evening, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:37.
So moved.
Moved by Gearba, is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Dillon. I'll get you on the next one, Mr. CO. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.